Hello, hello, I'm the official name reader. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today, we're looking at Vanillite, Vanillish, and Vanilluxe. I had to think about the order. I was like, shit, it's not. Yeah. The middle stage strikes again. And we'll start this episode by saying that the spreadsheet's empty, which to me is a brain scratcher because this should probably be one of the easiest Pokemon of the generation to come up with a nickname for. Okay, so I've thought about this idea, and it was kind of just like my default idea, and I was like, yeah, it's the closest thing I can come up with that might be halfway decent, and I still think it's garbage tier, like a solid 3 out of 10 at best. And that was Frosty. Partly because of Mortal Kombat, Frosty, Toasty, back in the old days. But also, I think, oh god, Wendy's? I think Wendy's is the one, they have Frosties, so I thought about that too. Mr. Frosty, I mean, that changes it a little bit, but that also adds gender specific, and I believe that's also the name of Kirby enemy? I think it's the little, otter thing? I think it's an otter. And then I guess if you want to put it even further, you could do Bad Mr. Frosty, and I'm pretty sure that's Killer Instinct. I don't know. I feel like adding Mr. makes it better, but then also I'm just like, yeah, but fuck that. You're always against adding Mr. and Mrs. because that's stupid as shit. But the idea is Frosty is the thing I considered. Alright, so this is kind of like one of those situations where it's not technically what they said, but it's what they said that made my mind go in a different direction. So I've seen Blizzetta, Twilight Princess boss, quite a few times, and that's been on my little list of like, hey, one day we can give this to someone. So that's not technically what they said, but because what they said made me think of Blizzetta, there's another idea and suggestion for you if that strikes your fancy. That's actually a very good joke, because there's two, and Polar is in like cold ice. That's good. I like that. Round of applause. We don't see too many joke nicknames like this, but when we do, I can appreciate them. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this highlight right here because this is basically, kind of what I came in expecting and all that. But also, Nas suggested this as well. Ben & Jerry's, Dairy Queen, Baskin Robbins, they're all on the same wavelength. They're all, like, they fit, they work, it's fine. It's what I come to expect. Personally, I don't really like the whole Vanilluxe's ice cream bullshit because that's like pointing at Jeffrey in your math class and saying that's a gingerbread man. And in the games, Vanilluxe was inspired by ice cream was inspired because they saw Vanilluxe. Yeah. So they looked at a Vanilluxe and was like, what if I made ice cream like that? Just in the same way that someone looked at Jeffrey and said, what if I make that guy but out of gingerbread? I don't know. Everyone's got their own opinions. Me, I just don't think of it like that because I think about it's called the fresh snow Pokemon and icicles, shit like that. Vanilla Ice is also worth highlighting, and there you go. I mean, there's not really too much else to say about that. Couldn't get any better of a choice if you wanted to. It's kind of fun to go from Vanilla Ice to Ice Ice Baby. This one's worth highlighting for the joke of it, and, I don't particularly favor or say like, oh yes, this one for baby Pokemon because no one's gonna fucking use them. But for the sake of it, I'm gonna highlight it. Now this one I can see being a bit complicated because we have three types of drumsticks in the world. The kind you hit the drums with, the bird leg that you eat, and then you also have the ice cream cones that are also called drumsticks. So I think most people are going to probably stray towards the middle one, being the chicken. And I do like that in Diddy Kong Racing they chose to name the chicken Drumstick. That was very funny. I like that. But I also can understand the ice cream, but I think most people are probably going to gravitate towards the naming that on something like Blaziken. Frostbite, I believe we see this fairly often, and my stance is always the same. Find a bitey Pokemon that'll fit, but unfortunately we don't really have too many ice bitey Pokemon, so yeah, it's kind of lost in limbo until something like that shows up. Maybe like a frozen beaver. Yeah! Give us a fucking fancy form change to Bidoof. Make it an ice type. It'll be great. Location-based nicknames are fine. Antarctica's fine. Not really too much else to say. I did see Swiss on that Reddit post, and I thought about like Switzerland, but I was like, fuck it. Antarctica's better. McFlurry will work. There's a different thing that's probably arguably better than Frosty, so that's an idea. I did see Soft Serve, and I considered that, and then Sweet Treat is also on the same wavelength. I don't think 7-Eleven would be the best choice. That's better for a slushie. Okay, well, that's it. We've reached the bottom. We've gone over everything. We saw basically what you'd expect from it. Reminder spreadsheet was empty. Reminder we've already gone over comment suggestions. So let's go over the things we found, which to me the highlight honestly was just bipolar. I really like that one. I think that was good. Frosty was the one that I was like, yeah, let's just use that for the moment, but I do think McFlurry is a better choice personally. And then one that I also have written down, which I'm guessing I saw this in a previous episode and for whatever reason decided to put it here, even though it would be better on an Ice and Psychic type, would be Brain Freeze. The thing is, I feel like our only Ice and Psychic types don't really fit it that well, because you got Jinx, who is known for more kissing, and then Galarian Mr. Rhyme, which is dancing, and then Calyrex, which is known for being a horse riding goat. So I don't really feel like any of those would complement Brain Freeze, but if we ever get something that might, there's an idea for you. Oh yeah, Blitzetta was also one worth highlighting, because we unintentionally came to that conclusion. But that's it. So whatever other ideas and suggestions you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones that you think are good. And do your best. I feel like Vanilluxe should be an easy one. Honestly, even though a lot of people hate it and trash it, Vanilluxe is legit one of my favorite Pokemon of all Generation 5. And probably just one of my favorite Pokemon just in general. Like easy top 10 favorite Pokemon period. Vanilluxe is on there. I like the ones that I think most people complain about in Gen 5. I like Vanilluxe.